Join us today as we go through here, the Huntington Library, the Chinese garden here, looking at Penjing and bonsai. So this is the Chinese garden going from the, and this is like the east entrance, excuse me. Again, this is the Chinese garden going from the east entrance. This is one of the later additions to the Huntington Library. And what really surprises me when I entered this way is how traditional a lot of the aesthetics are. Going to China, been to China before, and going through some of these gardens, it is a really reminiscence of that quality, bringing some of the architecture and the layout in. It's pretty amazing, especially with the peach flower being bloomed, the stone boat. You can see how the whole layout's really nicely well done. And this is actually the older edition. Was phase 1 or phase 2? Actually, this is phase 1. This whole area was the phase 1. And then I'm gonna walk towards that back corner beyond this pond area. And that's gonna be where we go phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 2 is actually back there. I'm gonna walk in that direction and I'll head toward phase 3. Almost forgot to mention, in phase 1, there's actually Penjing, or the bonsai in the Chinese tradition, the original with these water landscape growing. So here's one with an elm. Here's almost like a ficus. It is ficus, excuse me. It's really cool. We're laid out almost like an animal shape. Another classic Penjing elm. Most of these trees, if I remember, are from Mr. Shea. Get a chance, I'll probably introduce Mr. Shea. That looks like a liquid amber, or I'm not sure what that is. That's kind of cool. Here's phase 2, which is actually the northern side of the Chinese garden area. There's a lot of umes, peach trees. That's what's kind of blooming right now in this walkway. In traditional Chinese landscaping, there's really what we call windows, or like viewing portals, similar to in Japanese aesthetics in gardening, but Chinese use aesthetics or extensively stonework. You can see up ahead. I'll show you what we're talking about stonework here. These stones jut out from these locations, and they kind of stand almost like viewing stones per se. And this is a little cafe area, but that type of aesthetics where stonework really stands out, that's really that artistic value they're looking for. Here's, I think if I remember, most of these stones were imported from China, and about 20 to 30 craftsmen actually laid out all these stones in this kind of type of configuration. So very authentic if I remember how this garden was kind of laid out, especially some of the marble work and going in that aesthetics of water and stone and this greenery. What's interesting in this area that you don't really see anywhere else in the Huntington Library are these inlay walkways. You look carefully, they're actually patterned, inlaid with different type of stones and coloration, and it's really unique because if you look at it, it's mesmerizing. And this is probably the only location I've seen in the Huntington Library that really emphasized that kind of walkway pattern. Of course, the reflection pool, you get those arcs going in. So if you notice, most of the landscaping is not directly straight lines or curves, and it really emphasizes that, you know, every single turn you make is a different view. So here we enter phase 3, and this is where most of the penjing is actually stored in this courtyard. So let me kind of walk through it as best we can. Here we have, it's almost bonsai. This looks like a pomegranate, a twisted pomegranate. Very beautiful form, and I like that twisting that's going on. Some liquid amber landscape trees. Now, the difference between penjing and bonsais, the aesthetics of this is really different. Some are very straight line, really emphasizing the whimsicalness. Here is a, I don't know what that one is. It looks like a Nepali palm almost a subtropical. Very cool. See, this is a classic penjing when you have those really straight lines, emphasizing, you know, just one or two branches. You know, it's almost like a viewing stone, but in a different format. Here is a water landscape, which is classic penjing, with a stone with a water line there with a tree. Kind of like deep thinking. Let me go this way really quick. Here it looks like a Australian pine. You can tell by the scales of those needles. Here's the, now this is the difference between not Chinese and Japanese, but if you look at the style of the planting of the trees, you can see that species may be a different variety or different, not the same genetics of the trees in the background. Just based that it may just be blooming just a little earlier, or it just could be location. I mean, penjing and bonsai, you know, they blur the line, especially with this white background. It's really striking. You see the silhouette. This looks like a Texas ebony or Texas elm, cedar elm, winged elm. Very cool. This looks like a black pine. We can see that flaky bark. Check out that flaky bark. It's really cool. I don't remember what this is called. It's subtropical. See by the twisting trunk, really cool. Here's a classic contorted quince. You can see it just got watered. No drip system, so this is all hand watered, which is kind of amazing. There's no name tags on some of these trees, so we're just kind of winging as we go. That looks like an old San Jose, or even Champaku. Look at that. So, you know, bonsai and penjing could be interchangeable, depending on the stylistic of it. This is a pomegranate, a twisted pomegranate. That's really cool, actually. I wouldn't mind having that collection. This is a really big flowering pear? I'm not sure. Or crabapple. It could be a crabapple. You can see the flowering. Pushed out leaves, really warm. This must be a really, like, much warmer location. Here's this courtyard. Let me give you an idea of this courtyard. And see how many trees in this area. Especially with this layout. It forces you to really wander, kind of look at different things. Let me kind of wander this way. Here is a clump style, or actually a raft. Looks like a, oh, this is like one of those shrubs. I'm sure what it's called, a classic shrub. If you know what it is, leave in the comment. It'll come to me later today. Here's what a classic penjing planting look like. Really strong bases, really strong branches, really stylistic, and it looks like you're like dumped into a miniature forest versus more of the softer lines. Here's a prostrata. It's really nice, almost a hanging guy. It's really cool. Another, it looks like an elm. It looks like an elm, I'm not sure. That's for sure an elm tree, and that's really strong. You see that? Those strong branches. You gotta understand how big some of these trees are. This is like 4-footer. Nice winter silhouette. Look at those paddings, it's beautiful. What I do like about the Chinese garden courtyard setup, you're forced to wander. There's no pathway to viewing these trees. Here's an olive. I do like the white background. It really pushes that silhouette and that green leafage or foliage look really bright and brilliant. This is another olive. Looks like a big old landscape tree at one point. Again, this is a pinching. I mean, it could be a bonsai, but it's that strong branch work. Lot of this is not wiring. This is actually clip and grow. Excuse me. You can see how that lovely branch work that is. It's really cool having these like little keyholes to look at. Even the backdrop, you can see the backdrops are like bonsai or pinching. So this is classic pinching again, you know, straight lines, really different. You know, I gotta talk to Mr. Shea one day and just give him his insight of what is the main difference. That's a cool looking pot. Trees, awesome with the pots. That's really cool. Go down the middle here. Oh, this is very different. This is a weeping. It's a weeping style that takes, excuse me, that takes a while to wire like that. Oh, this is a, oh, what do you call this? Tamarix. That's a tamarix. That's kind of cool. That's really cool looking. More of that tufa stone. You can watch the earlier video. Tufa, it's a calcium carbonate, if you remember. So that's that same type of stone. Just go through the middle of the courtyard. And I'll let you guys, if you've been here, if you like it, you can talk about what's going on. We got Ted doing this talk right now. Let me just try to jump in so I can get Ted to get some of his, you know, let me sneak in so I can grab his tour really quick.
In a bonsai, this would be cut out. And we would
there we go.
Try and set our layering. You notice with these guys, branches go in, they'll go, you know, they'll go any which way to fill the space. In bonsai, we will take a much more deliberate approach to create radiating structures that layer up. So we don't have stuff necessarily going in, out, down, and up. General rule in Penching, many years ago, I remember asking some Penching folks to come to a bonsai meeting and do a demonstration. They said, well, it'd be boring because all we do is we count 7 leaves, we cut to 2. Doesn't matter if that second leaf points in, out, up, down, or whatever. Rule of thumb is after 7 leaves, you cut to 2. So it would be a boring demonstration. So if you look, again, the idea here is to create movement. It doesn't necessarily matter where the movement goes, but then it'll be thin to create this distribution. But again, you'll see stuff going every direction on a Penching, whereas again, you're going to see more of this layered radiating pattern of structure in a bonsai. So that will be one of the differences. And in some cases, you'll actually see where a tree will have multiple little trunks in it. You know, again, where this structure almost is a little individual tree. Again, you wouldn't see that necessarily so much in the bonsai. Okay, so we've got.
Here's that last bit of that courtyard, and I hope you guys like that little tidbit by Ted. Here's really cool. This was a probably California Jupiter. Got a screw down.
And with the rain.
So that's probably a California juniper at one point. You can tell by some of that twisting and all that other stuff there. Really cool branch work. Something I wouldn't mind in my own collection one day. Of course, this is that courtyard one more time. Now, if you guys like this Chinese garden, really quick walkthrough, and if you visit here, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.